Hey, this is Nick Means's video blog about the new student dialogue. To start off, just wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between maybe like debates, discussions, and dialogues. Overall, start off with a debate. Debates tend to have a more offensive / defensive kind of mood. It usually tends to be one person challenging another person and the other person defending back. It's usually a very two-sided battle. There's, like, most people are trying to prove a right and wrong. You always have an opposition. There's no one really trying to, it's not like two people helping each other out at all. And pretty much a debate is usually won not by who is right technically, but by who exceeds the most power in the battle. And then when you move on to a discussion is kind of like middle ground. It's more of sharing experiences, kind of telling your own personal side to things. A lot of emotion can be involved, but it's not really shown or forced on another person through power. And then to finish off, dialogue, which is what we went to, tends to be more of a productive form of discussion. It's very building. It's a building experience. You tend to build off other ideas, and you connect with others, and it's a very positive, uplifting way to have talk with people. My dialogue, the group that we were in did achieve a pretty well dialogue, like a true dialogue, mainly because we all tended to use what our proctor called I statements, where we shared experiences. Said like why we think something, not exactly that like it's right. And everyone was pretty much participated. Of course there's some that were quieter than others, and some that had a voice about everything, but nothing got heated. People might have been very strongly opinionated about what they felt, but they weren't oppressive with it, or didn't try to overpower others. Everyone got a good voice in the group. A few stronger voices in the group were girls in ours. For example, we didn't have many of them, but we had a few that were very, very strong spoken about how they felt. And it wasn't a problem. They weren't oppressive about it. It's just how they feel, and they tried to build off of what others were saying. Some more reserved voices in the group tended to be a few guys that just kind of, I guess, didn't feel like they could talk as freely. Maybe if there were no girls, they could talk more freely about the subject that we had. Our subject was about like girls' roles in relationships, so maybe since there were girls in the room, maybe they didn't feel as freely to speak. And me, myself, in the group, I tended to have a role of, I was not the most loudly spoken person. I was not the most quietly. I tended to be pretty middle ground. I shared my opinions when I felt like it was mostly good to use, and when I could help build the most in the group. I think the dialogue is a very good component of the Library 100 class. It helps show people very productive, supportive ways to get through things that you might not agree completely on. Not start arguments. It'd help a lot in the business world later on in life if we could continue using dialogues, help get to a better solution faster without arguments and stubborn-mindedness, I guess. And I guess kind of finally, just talk a little more about my experience, like in general, more to my personal experience, I guess. Like I said, our group had the topic of females' roles in relationships, and they kind of just talked about how, like, showed us a little video from the 50s about how, like, the girl was supposed to be like the perfect girl, was supposed to be like classy, dress well, get a manicure. The guy was supposed to come over, pick her up, meet the family, meet the parents, be like overly charming, and we just kind of talked about how that's changed a little bit from the 50s till how it is now. And some aspects still exist in today's society. Like, I know me, whenever I meet a girl, I meet her parents. I was raised in a pretty Southern conservative family, so it's just a thing I always do. And I can see nowadays with technology and stuff and people having more access to cars, like you don't necessarily always have to meet the parents and stuff if you're going out on a date with a girl. And also we talked about the double standard where you know, girls are supposed to be classy and not exactly put themselves out for just sexual reasons, and how they're considered, you know, coin the word like a slut if they're not classy, and then how guys on the other hand are rewarded, or you know, for getting with a lot of girls, you know, sleeping around, and it's not exactly as good of a thing for a guy to be, you know, classy. And we just kind of talked about how you know, we think it is possible to change that through a generation, because it's what you teach your kids. So we could raise the next generation to not think that, but unfortunately a hard drawback of that, what we figured out, would be that it's human nature to try to make yourself better than others. And if you're a classy girl and you're looking around seeing all these girls that just give in to temptation, like sexual temptation, and go out and do stuff like that, then of course you're gonna make yourself seem better and you're gonna insult them, because you on the other hand have, you know, not given in to temptation and have held back, you know, stayed classy, and because of that, you know, you're gonna insult others, and it's just it's a hard thing to get over. But over time, I feel like as a society, if everyone was in on it, it could be overcome. But that was pretty much the full extent of our dialogue. It was, you know, pretty uplifting dialogue. No one got heated, and it was very productive. And I think dialogues are very effective ways of talking about things. So that's pretty much the end of my video blog on the topic. Yep.